Hello and welcome back to the channel, the PROWIRC method. And in the PROWIRC method, of course, we discuss the topics from the book, Happiness and Well-Being Through Balance and Progress, the PROWIRC method. And what is the PROWIRC method? We take 7 areas of our life, being our power, our relationships, our organization, our wealth, our image, our relaxation, and our creativity, and we simply ask ourselves the question, are these 7 areas of my life in progress? Now, if the 7 areas of your life you feel they are all in progress, then you should be feeling a state of well-being and a sense of balance in your life. If these areas, if you're not feeling well-being, and chances are your life then is out of balance, if you look to these 7 areas, again, your power, meaning your mental and physical power, your relationships, the strength and health of them, your organization, being not only how organized a person are you, but what are you choosing to organize? Is it all in relationship to your best life mission statement and the goals that you've chosen for yourself, or you're organizing a whole bunch of things that don't really matter to anything that actually matters to you, your wealth, where you are with regard to that, and your plan for that, and basically whatever you do have, is it in progress? Are you building it? Is it going up or is it going down? Do you need to look there? Your image, obviously your image is the way you see yourself, the way others see you, the way you project yourself everywhere from in your day-to-day life to on your social media accounts, everything like that. And your relaxation. What do you do for relaxation? Do you do fun and exciting things in your relaxation time? Is that in progress? Are you doing interesting things? Are you doing interesting things that pertain to your goals? And of course, your creativity. Do you see yourself as a creative person, and are you keeping that in a state of progress? So that's the PROWIRC method. And what we're going to talk about today here is our image. Now, image is a very interesting thing when it comes to self-help and various sort of self-improvement programs that you've probably seen before. Not too many people talk about image. They do talk about your power quite a bit, and some of them talk about relationships, and some of them talk about, obviously, money's a big topic, and wealth, and how you organize. But in our PROWIRC method here, we also talk about the areas of image, relaxation, and creativity, which we consider to be very important as well. Now, with regard to your image, and that's what we're talking about today, there's a chapter in the book, on your image. And what we're interested in finding out there, and we would like you to question yourself on, is what is your image in relationship to your plans for how and where you'd like your life to go? So when you sat down and you worked on your mission statement to say how would you like your life to feel and be on a daily basis, and then from there you think about goals and that you have that relate to the mission statement, so they're not off track from the mission statement, battling with your life mission. They should be supporting that, and you have those goals. And so what you also have going along with that is a billboard that you show to yourself and you show to everyone around you every day of your life, and that's your image. And what we would like you to ask yourself with regard to the image is my image, my personal image, does that relate and is in alignment with my mission statement, the goals for my life, the idea of what I consider my best life to be and where I would like it to go? Is my image consistent with that? So if I looked at my own image, and I don't just mean, sure, you could use the visual image, but also, what people know of you from your social media accounts, from the way you work, all the various different areas of your life. Do you see that person as achieving the objectives that you have for yourself? Now, we have a couple of exercises on this in the book. And the first one, we first just get you to say, great, take a piece of paper and write down a few sentences, a kind of a paragraph, and describe yourself a little bit. Describe your image. Describe, kind of what is your style? How do you like to look? How do you like to dress? You're typically casual. Does it go with your work? What basically describe, how you appear. And then you're also going to describe things like your image, for your health and and how do you feel your fitness is, and how do you feel you are, and just generally in some of the areas of life. Just kind of just give yourself a little description there. And then the second part of that exercise we have you do is sort of looking over a generality of yourself and saying, okay, in my best case scenario of the life I'd like to lead, doing all the things I like to do, how would I describe my image there? So, then we look at the two of them and we kind of think, okay, so there could be some room for improvement there. And that's where we would look for progress in this area. Now, we're actually going to quickly tell you the other exercise in the book that you could do. And also it's in the workbook, which is available on the PROWIRC.com, the PROWIRC method, the PROWIRCmethod.com website has a workbook that you can download as a digital file. And it's on there at a nominal charge. It's currently on sale for $3. But anyway, it goes with the book. And whether you have the book or not, it's nice to have all the exercises from the book. And one of the other exercises there is with regard to your image. We simply take the 7 areas of your PROWIRC, your power, your relationships, organization, wealth, image, relaxation, and creativity, and say, okay, let's put those down the side column, and then let's just put sort of strengths and needs improvement, across the top. So when you think of your personal image and how it reflects to yourself, as well as how other people see it, say, okay, what are my strengths with regard to my personal image, my power, my fitness, my energy, that kind of thing, and where could I stand to improve there. And then we go through relationships. How do I feel about my relationships? Do I feel I typically am having good relationships? Do I feel I'm having troubled relationships? Do they come and go? Anyway, in the first column, again, you're going to try to put some strengths there and things that you think are good about that. And then you're going to put beside it areas that you think need improvement. We're going to go on in the topic of wealth. Same thing. Where do you think your strengths are? Maybe handling money or, that type of thing. Or where do you need improvement? Obviously, when it comes to wealth, are you saving money? Is that savings growing? That would be considered progress, which is what you're looking for your well-being. And or, is it in a downward regress place? And does it need some attention? And so we're going to go through that again. Obviously your image is the next one, and we're discussing that. So you can put whatever you see as your personal image there, and that could be more of a visual, or also your attitudes. These days people have quite an image just from their Facebook account alone. I mean, there was a time where people actually had to get to know you to find out what you think or how you thought or what your opinions were on everything. But now people seem to share them very, very freely, and know it or not, it makes up a part of the image that you have with other people. And so not necessarily, if it happens to correspond with everything they think, then you're probably going to get a big welcome every time you go around those people. But if you're going with, to see people that have, varying opinions about things that vary from yours, they might be a little less receptive, that kind of thing. So you're going to think about your image there, and you're going to think also about your relationship, your image that you see as a relaxing person doing relaxing activities. Do you typically do sort of zone out relaxing activities like playing on your phone, or I said that one kind of lightly, and I don't mean we do often very interesting and creative things also with our phones. Sometimes we're looking for some thing to buy. Sometimes we are looking, when I'm on YouTube, I go on YouTube quite a bit. I usually schedule time at night, and literally always to learn something. So if I'm, let's say, before I started working on the shows here, I spent quite a while looking at things on, photography, cinematography, and to do with some other goals that I have as well, and some movies and things that I'm working on. And so with regard to storylines, with regard to working cameras, literally you can go on YouTube and have a person teach you almost anything that you that you would need to know how to do. On this plan, I'm not sure you can learn to do brain surgery on the thing, but there certainly is a lot of things you can learn there. And we are doing that. But in our relaxing hours, the idea of, it's one thing to be finding out about information on things and what we could do and that kind of, and it's another thing to be doing them. And what we have to check to see it's in progress is, okay, so we have perfect ideas of what we'd like to do in our life. And is the image that we have of ourselves a person that consistently puts those things in a schedule and then does them? Or a person that consistently watches shows on YouTube about doing them and then never does them? And then our creativity. What's the image we have of ourselves there? Do we feel that, do we have the image of a creative person? Do we think to ourselves, hey, I'm a pretty highly creative person. Every week of my life, I use my creativity to try to solve some problem areas. I use my creativity to actually do creative projects. And once again, when I think of creative projects, I don't just watch shows about how you could make them or, what type of methods you would use, but no, you actually go, okay, great, I'm going to use the creative process for instance, we have a creative process in the book here and we have shows on it. And say, I'm going to use my creative process, and this week I'm going to use my creative process to solve these problems and schedule that. This week I'm going to use my creative process to do a creative project, and I'm going to actually do that. But in this chapter on image, we're just finding out, how do you feel about that with yourself right now? So you could say, well, here's where I think I have some strengths. Here's where I could, utilize some improvement. And so with regard to our image, the main person that I really think that you have to be orchestrating that image to is really yourself, because basically the image that you have of yourself really affects your belief system about what it is you can accomplish with regard to what you're trying to accomplish, setting out goals. So when people go out there and they attempt to do something, and you say, okay, there's a lot of winning businesses in the world. There's a lot of failed businesses. There's winning careers, failing careers. It could be sports, it could be anything. But there's in every category of everything, there's people at the top of it and people at the bottom of it. And a lot of times it's going to be how the person sees themselves. It's going to determine a lot of the results that they're going to get. And then also, as they brand their own image to demonstrate it to themselves in these 7 areas of their life to keep them in progress, the image portion in progress, you're going to be affected. If, for instance, if you say, in my area of power, I come off a little bit tired, I think sometimes, not getting the right amount of sleep, I don't get enough exercise, that kind of thing. So, sometimes if people are saying, oh, hey, are you, you get enough sleep, that kind of thing. And so obviously there's a point for room for improvement right there. So if you begin to start to look at that, oh, what could I do to improve my sleep? Well, exercise, I can do that. As you start to do these things, oh, okay, well, I'm enjoying the exercise, but I'm fatigued because I have a few extra pounds on, so I need to work on my diet a little bit there, and I'm going to improve that, and I'm going to improve my exercise, and then I start to improve my power. And when you start to do that within your image, you start to see that as well. So you start to have a belief system that, hey, I think I can do things here. I can do these things. And also, I have done these things. And that means the next things I schedule, I'm going to be able to do as well. And again, we go down through, if we use the 7 areas to view each other. So while we're looking at this topic of image, I've gone through the 7 areas and how you can view your image with regard to those. Again, there's an exercise in the workbook, but I've outlined the exercise here. So if you're just watching the shows and you're not interested in the book at this time or the workbook, you can certainly get that information from the shows. At the end of today's show, I'm going to repeat the mantra that I've had people saying lately in the PROWIRC method. And if you just have a quick listen to this, I think this is something to also work on your image with yourself and also the way you think of yourself. And this mantra goes like this: I am a unique, being separate from my situation. I possess the godlike power of creativity, and I choose the power of creativity and thankfulness over fear, apprehension, and anxiety every minute of every day. So the reason I think that this mantra is a good one to say, because, in our life, whether we're trying to make improvements in any of these 7 areas, or we're trying to do something creatively, anytime we step out of the box, what we've been doing, and we try to do something else, we can often feel a little fear, we can feel apprehension, we can feel anxiety, and these things can keep us from making improvements. They can keep us from experiencing a lot of things we want to experience in our lives. And also, if you're practicing the state of fear, state of apprehension, and anxiety, that's going to have a tremendous impression on the image that you have of yourself as well, as being a person who suffers from these things all the time, and how it gets in the way of what they want to do. So please consider practicing that mantra. I'll actually say it one more time, and it says, I am a unique being separate from my situation. I possess the godlike power of creativity, and I choose the power of creativity and thankfulness over fear, apprehension, or anxiety every minute of every day. I've been using it myself, and I really find anytime if your mind just goes to apprehension is a standard gear. Every time you try to do something you haven't done before, whether you're going to flick on a camera and do a show like this, or you're going to take on some new activity that you've never done before, there's always that mild state of apprehension. The minute you feel that, switch it, run that mantra in your own mind, and just get your mind off the fears, apprehension, anxiety. Move your mind back into a better place, knowing that you're a unique being separate from your situation. You possess the godlike power of creativity, and choose the power of creativity and thankfulness over fear, apprehension, anxiety every minute of every day. Thanks a lot for coming out to the show today. And again, these are concepts from the book Happiness and Well-Being Through Balance and Progress, the PROWIRC Method. And there's the PROWIRCmethod.com, which has exercise booklet that goes along with this. And of course, this is the PROWIRC Method channel where we discuss these things. Anyway, hope we have been of help to you today, and hope to see you next time soon. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying the material. And please feel free to comment. Be happy to hear the comments. Have a great day.